Okay. I don't even know how to make a video on this. This is just unbearably funny, okay? This is insane. There is a game going around, very viral, called Five Nights at Epstein's. Now, this is one of the most bizarre parody FNAF fan games that I have ever seen so far, me personally. And middle schoolers are already playing it, and parents are concerned. Regardless, I've played it myself, and to a dark extent, it's actually really funny, and I do plan to make a gameplay video, but, I mean, we as a society should have seen this coming. With the popularity rising over the Epstein Files, I don't know how else to say this, but we should have seen it coming. So apparently, in the game, you play as one of Epstein's victims on his island. And you have to wait 5 days before you can be rescued. And so the whole plot of the game is to keep Jeffrey Epstein and his friends from finding you and catching you. Now, it's more than obvious that this is just a dark comedy, a joke fan game very similar to that of games like Five Nights with 39 or Five Nights at Fuckboys, which to a similar degree were very inappropriate but very funny. Not meant for little kids, of course. However, this isn't the beginning of Epstein's ties to Five Nights at Freddy's. Apparently, Jeffrey Epstein himself has shared Five Nights at Freddy's Rule 34 content amongst his buddies and even his girlfriend using direct 4chan links to threads. I don't personally doubt this is true. Epstein was a bad man. And I'm more than certain that the appeal to the characters and the Rule 34 art content of the game was that they were based on a game which, in and of itself, is directed towards children and teenagers. Now, the internet is no stranger to FNAF, porn, Rule 34, and E621 content, as there has always been people making Rule 34 art of the game since the beginning of the game's existence, all the way back to 2014 and onward. This kind of content has been made either using source filmmaker to animate or like art apps to paint the art by various hundreds of artists, not even entirely related to each other, with the intent of aiming it towards adults aged 18 or older. Nothing really inherently bad, because it's meant for adults. They always say, hey, this is supposed to be 18 plus, you can't be here if you're a kid. But I'm more than certain that people weren't expecting Jeffrey Epstein himself to be tied to this, but I'm not even surprised this happened. More than anything, I don't want people to, they've already tried to, but I don't want people to use this to try and accuse Scott Cawthon or any of his associates of any kind of presence in the Epstein Files or other scandals tied to Jeffrey Epstein. After all, Rule 34 content is made under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which apparently allows for fair use parody or fair use of characters as long as copyright's acknowledged. And that's why you always see copyright sections in the top left of a Rule 34 post. It gives credit. To make it clear, there are hundreds of these Rule 30 posts in E621 artists, and they're likely the ones behind the GIF that Epstein shared, apparently. As such, they merely make the art, post it on these main two sites, and it often ends up on other mainstream porn sites, like the Hub or X videos, you know, as long as proper credit is given to the original artists and animators. But as such, they are in no way tied to Epstein or Scott Cawthon in any malicious way whatsoever. And Rule 34 is meant to stay where it's at and not really be shared amongst children or even publicly in general. Wow, that's just fucking crazy. But remember, these artists do not, at least most of them, don't stand for any kind of molestation of children or anything outside of reasonable consent. They're their own form of politics. They're very different from conservatives or older people, and often encompass very specific and autonomous views for themselves. And more than anything, they simply want a restricted area to congregate and share this content in peace. Given how deep the rabbit hole of internet porn is, I genuinely am not surprised that Jeffrey Epstein himself has managed to stumble upon this content, as many adults likely have, regardless of whether or not they have visited Rule 34 or E621 even once. After all, according to these articles, it seems that Epstein found the porn on 4chan threads, which I am also less surprised about. I personally believe that 4chan is one of the most degenerate and unsafe sites in existence, given its anarchist nature, and I'm more than certain that Jeffrey Epstein's ties to this website go far indeed. This is really bad. This is incredibly horrible. Because not only is it making Five Nights at Freddy's look bad for no good reason, it's literally, it's just things that get taken so far out of context. And the thing is, 90% of people don't know what all is on these sites. A lot of people haven't been there, unless they're people who are like younger and desire freedom, consent, all sorts of other things that conservatives and many older people don't like. Now, this is just insane. I can't even believe I'm trying my best to hide the pain over this. The minute I saw the article and the image, I literally laughed for like 5 minutes straight. This is just unbelievable. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to bring that to your attention and, you know, clear up some things that need to be made clear so that no one gets the wrong idea. I mean, Scott himself is a conservative Christian. This kind of stuff is made all the time, whether you know it or not. It's the way the real internet is. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.